Hi everyone, you're welcome to another episode on our business and entrepreneur visa series. So today we'll be talking about something very important when you're looking at applying for any of the business or entrepreneur visa categories, depending on the country you're taking it to, especially if you need to submit a what is it called, a business plan. If you need to attach a business plan to your application when submitting or lodging your application, either from a first stage, that is perhaps you need to get an endorsement or you need to get investment and all that, or at the visa application stage itself. So our topic today is on team cohesion, and that's we want to see how to get this right from the word go. So in putting together this part of your business plan where you have to talk about your team, it's very important you know head on or from the start how you want your team to be structured. Now, this depends on your business idea itself. Let's say, for instance, your business idea is a product that's a physical product kind of business, right? You perhaps have you as a founder have an experience that you can make the product yourself. You can manufacture, you can come up with a manufacturing aspect of the product, so you can sort out manufacturing. Then let's say, for instance, you have experience with taking products to the market, of which you've done before. You've done that in the past. You've taken other products successfully to the market before. That is also of one big advantage to you. So, but then let's say you can only come up with the manufacturing aspects of bringing the product to life. You're the one with the idea of what this product is, and then you can sit down and put or bring this thing to life, right? And you don't have experience in going to market or taking a new product, a new physical product to the market. You need someone who has experience with taking a product to the market or a physical product to the market. You need an experienced person in that regard. There's a segment of your business plan where you have to talk about the team. So the team would be the person or persons who would be in charge of ensuring that this business idea or this particular business is going to succeed in XYZ country. So when talking about the team, you want to consider a whole lot of things. You want to consider if you as the founder, as a founder, if you have all the skills and experience that that particular product deserves or that particular product needs to, have a successful launch and then a successful takeoff and all that. And when we're talking about skills now, it now depends on the kind of product, either a physical product or a digital product, right? And it also depends on what you've done in the past in terms of your experience with other businesses, even in other industries. Let's say, for instance, you have experience with taking physical products to the market, right? And then you're coming up with a business right now, or you're submitting a business plan at the moment for a business that has to do with coming up with digital products and distribution of digital products. You don't have that experience. So it would be wise that you're getting a co-founder who has that experience, to come in and work with you. So the questions that we get sometimes, or one of the questions we get asked sometimes is, can't I just look towards recruiting someone who would be able to fill in that gap where I am lacking as the founder? Now, let's put it this way. Let's say, for instance, you have to approve, new businesses are coming to your country yourself. You have to give a go ahead for those businesses to succeed. You already know how tough it is, first of all, to even if you have, even if these business owners have, let's say, a good runway for the next 1 year or even 6 months runway in terms of money available to spend, like capital and all that. So let's say that is even available. You know that in the business world, there are a lot of uncertainties, right? For the first time you enter the market, you'll be making a lot of assumptions, right? And those assumptions are not wrong. Like, you're not in the wrong when you make assumptions. The only thing you can actually work with are assumptions. So if you're making a lot of assumptions, it's also important that you are not taking on a lot of risks head on. What I mean by a lot of risks, talking about cost for labor or cost of labor. So imagine you have to, let me give an example with digital products now. Imagine you have to employ someone who is going to come in to be the technology officer. You now have to go get a team or outsource the building of your digital product to either an individual or a company. You can imagine the cost, and it's not just building the product itself. It also comes with maintenance, periodical maintenance and all that. You can imagine the cost that that is going to come with. And then apart from that, with experience with working with the Innovator founder category for the UK visas, endorsing bodies want to see that the team is complete. What do I mean by the team is complete? The persons who, or the skills that are needed to make this business idea a success, that team is complete. So it's not actually going to help your application if you already letting them know in your business plan that you intend to outsource a very integral aspect of your business operations. And this is not just about the technology as well. It's not just about technology. It also comes down to marketing strategy, taking products to market, experience with the marketplace and all that. Of course, this will also have to do with your experience, in past businesses. So what you want to do is you want to look at the places that you're lacking in terms of you're lacking talent and expertise, and then you want to look for someone or some other persons who can fill in for the lack that you have, and then give them defined roles in the business structure. Give them defined roles that they will be able to come in to fill in those places or those aspects that you lack as the founder. Now, is it totally impossible to have a sole founder for a business plan? Like when you're putting up your business plan, is it impossible to have a sole founder? Definitely no, it's not. So like I started earlier, it depends on if you have all the skills that is required to make a success of that business idea you're submitting, either to the endorsing bodies or to even to the visa officers, or for some other startup visa categories, to angel investors, to some specific angel investors and all that. So you would want to be sure that you have all the skills yourself. So let's say you're even a product, you're a product designer, or you're a project manager, or you're a tech person. Let me use that. Let's just say you're a tech person and you came up with a business idea, or you've come up with a business idea that has to do with bringing tech solutions into everyday life, depending on the industry, right? And you can build that product yourself. So if you don't have the experience with taking services or products to the market, it's very important that you get a co-founder that has that experience, so that you're not lacking. Because when you look at the market value in terms of the value of getting a talent in that particular field, if you put that into the budget or your budget for finances in your financials, it's going to take up a lot of space. Like you're going to be spending way more than you would need to spend. That's one. And then secondly, that person or organization or persons you outsource that very integral aspect of your business to, they are not insiders, right? They don't really carry the burden, because starting a business has a burden, has a weight it puts on you. So they don't really carry the burden, they don't carry the weight. They are only rendering a service you contracted them for. So that responsibility that comes with executing their jobs or executing their skills, right? That responsibility would be really diluted, because it's a different thing if I'm executing a responsibility as someone being involved, and I'm executing a responsibility as someone that was contracted for something or contracted to render a particular service. If it doesn't work, or if the plan, the strategy doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if I am executing those responsibilities as someone involved, it's either it works or it works, because there's a different attitude that comes with executing responsibilities depending on the side where you're playing at. So the officials know this, that officials who are going through your business plan, like I said, depending on the country or the business category or business visa category you're applying for. So they know this, so they prefer, it's highly preferable that your your team, that the persons who will be rendering the the most integral parts or aspects of ensuring that the business takes off and becomes successful and all that. It's very, very important that they are part of the founding team right from the start. So our next question would be, or the next question I want to be responding to would be, how many co-founders am I supposed to have, or how many persons are supposed to be in my team, like co-founders, like together with me, we're starting this thing together. So this is largely, or this is 100% dependent on you, the founder. It's dependent on the skills you're lacking. It's also dependent on the the how big or how large the project you're working on is. If your project is so big or so large, then you could be looking at getting in more than one person as a co-founder. But we usually advise that you don't allow your co-founding team be more than four. Like you guys should not be more than four on the team or in the team. It's actually very important. So the reason for this, even four is already quite a lot of number. Two is, I think two is the most preferable. Then three is fine. Four is already going overboard, but then can still be managed. The reason is because, when you have a structure that, you have a business structure that you have four different individuals, that would mean that decision making will be split amongst four different persons. So it would make decision making a bit slower, and that would not really help your application for a business visa category. It would not really help your application. Perhaps it maybe would be helpful if you're just looking at raising funds. So if what you're looking at doing is raising funds, then this video is not for you. We're talking specifically about persons who want to apply for business visas, right? So when you're going above four, that's really overboard. And so let me say this. Imagine you're going to the UK for an innovator founder visa category application, and you're already having more than two founders on the team. You remember you'd be paying £1,000 each, like every founder will be paying £1,000 for the application. So that would mean that you'll be paying £4,000 for an application to get one endorsement on a business plan. That's a lot. So it's better you make whatever solution you're bringing into the market, make it simple enough that a 2-man, 3-man team, would be able to drive and make a success out of it. So something else that's very important to consider as a founder in the business is the equity structure. If you're looking at bringing in a co-founder, there's no specific equity structure that you should have, but we usually advise that you're not sharing 50-50. It also depends on the role. That's in a two-man founding team now. You're not sharing 50-50. Also depends on the roles. Depends on if equal amounts of funds, in terms of the money you need to start, equal amount is being put into the business. So that if Mr. A is coming in with £10,000, example, Mr. B is coming in with £10,000, right? So that could also influence how you put out your equity structure. And one thing that we've seen, going by hindsight, which is very important, is that you as a founder have enough equity, so you can have enough playing grounds in case you need to raise funds in the future. Remember, business visa categories, whatever country you're going into, the purpose is for that business to succeed and then be able to contribute to the national or the yearly national income, or the yearly income that that country gets, from taxes and all that. So your business must be able to contribute. That's the end goal. And if that is also your goal startup, like that's your goal from the start, that you want to get into, make a success out of a business in another country, you would also have plans to, raise funds in the future. You would be shooting yourself in the leg if upfront you put out your equity structure in a way that it makes it very tough, for you to have enough playing grounds with investors. So it's just good that you as a founder has enough playing grounds. Now, I'm not going to say you should have 70%, you should have 60%, or whatever percent that looks high enough. All I'm going to say is you know the value that your co-founder, the persons you've chosen as co-founders, are bringing into, the business. You know the value they are bringing in. You know how valuable they are, or they would be to the business. So it's just important that you're able to, come up with an equity structure that's fair, fair to everyone. And what can be done is this can be discussed early on, as well as you must have an ironclad agreement to, have all these put in black and white, that okay, this is what you're getting. As well as you can also discuss future expectations, in the sense that, oh, we expect that we're going to be, turning over so and so amount of money in the next 4 years, the next 5 years. So what will it look like for, me, in terms of more equity or more shares in the business? Or will it look like for me? Will I be giving I'm talking about the person you're bringing as a co-founder now, the persons. Will you be giving some form of concessions for them to be able to buy shares back at a very lower or specified amount, and all that? So you would know, you know how important they are, and then you know how to, make that structure. And it's very important that you guys discuss this head on, as well as have ironclad agreement. Very, very important. Very important. So that means you also want to be talking about the legality, everything about legal part of a business from the start. Because yes, we want to get endorsement. Yes, we want to get approved investment applications from investors. Yes, we want to get approved visas. But then after all the approval, what next? So this is actually very important. So we hope, or I hope, you're able to get value. You are able to get value from this particular video. We'll be talking about other aspects of the business plans as well when applying for any visa within the business or entrepreneurial category, depending on the country you're going to. The good thing is most of these countries have similar attributes that are applicable, to each, even though there are differences, or there are some peculiarities, depending on the visa category and all that. But the things we're sharing are perks, or they are things that you can actually apply to whatever business or entrepreneurial visa category you're applying for, depending on whatever country. So please like, share, and of course, subscribe, so you'd be the first person to get the notification when we have a new video up, which I know is always very helpful. Thank you. Hola,